have, where am I here? PFL playoffs starting this weekend with the lightweights and light heavyweights. Let's see. It's going down in New York City at the Hulu Theater of MSG. The beginning of the playoffs for PFL. And I think obviously the most high-profile fight is in the in the lightweight bracket with former UFC champion Anthony Showtime Pettis. Shout out. Rematching against fellow UFC veteran Stevie Ray. Pettis lost in their first match not too long. It was only like a month ago or so, I want to say.
Something.
I'm
like
totally
that.
ballparking that.
No, I mean, you're not wrong. It's like either a month or two ago.
Yeah. Pettis taps to a sort of modified body triangle submission in the second round. Mark, what do you got for us in terms of some PFL preview action?
Yeah, so obviously the two, I would say, higher profile fights here are the two lightweight semifinals, which we'll get to. But real quick, I would just feel weird if we didn't touch on the light heavyweight semifinals, since they are semifinals as well. So real quick, I'll give you those two. The first one is Rob Wilkinson against Delon Monte. Wilkinson's a pretty big favorite. He's minus 310. Monte is plus 240. Wilkinson is a guy who has looked fantastic in the PFL. He's definitely become a name to watch. He's 15-2 overall. He had a brief stint in the UFC, which is where he picked up both of his losses. He lost to Siar Bahadurzada, and then he lost to Izzy, and that's when they gave him his walking papers, which may have been a little bit abrupt because he has looked really good since, and I think that he likely puts Monte away in this one and books his ticket to the finals. The other semifinal is Omari Akhmedov. It was supposed to be against Antonio Carlos Jr., who was probably the favorite to win this thing. He's out. I actually forget why he's out, if it was hurt or something else. Stepping in is Josh Silvera, who is actually the favorite. He's minus 200 despite stepping in. Akhmedov is plus 160. Lesser named guy in Silvera, but he's 9-0. He can finish fights everywhere. You look at his record, he's got knockouts, he's got subs. He's a dangerous guy. I'm torn on this one because I don't know him quite as well, but I've never really been super sold on Omari Akhmedov, even back in his UFC run. I just find him really inconsistent performance to performance, so maybe Silvera takes this one, so we'll see. But those are the two light heavyweight semifinals, and now we may move into the lightweight ones. You want me to just keep rolling right into it, or?
Yeah, do it.
All right, so the lesser marquee lightweight semifinal is Olivier Albon Mercier against Alex Martinez. OAM is the favorite here. He's minus 250. Martinez is plus 200. I think Martinez has overachieved a bit. I think he's had some decisions go his way in his time in the PFL that maybe shouldn't have, including his last one over Clay Collard. He's not bad, but I don't think he's on OAM's level. I think OAM is the guy in the PFL lightweight division right now. He's another guy who's looked great since leaving UFC. He has not lost since. I think he's more well-rounded. I think he's better anywhere this fight's going to go, and I expect him to win a clear decision in this one. Omar, I don't know if you have anything to say about OAM, or if you want to just go to the main event.
I was a big fan of his even when he was in the UFC. I thought his last few fights, I don't actually remember if I agreed with all of those decisions that he lost to, but he's not necessarily always been a fighter that goes for the finish, but I've always found him to be very effective when it comes to his grappling and kind of his ability to control the fight. Again, he's not the most exciting, but he is super, super effective when he's doing his thing. So I enjoy him. He does remind me of GSP. I don't want to jump on that bandwagon because they tried to do that shit years ago where he was like touted as the next GSP. I'm not going to go that far.
He was the Canadian gangster, remember?
Jesus, yeah. The main thing though is his style is very reminiscent of GSP as far as the control on the ground and being able to take fights to the ground as effectively as GSP did and things like that.
Yeah, he's a weird one. His aggression seems to change like fight by fight. And in the last fight, I agree with you. He really did not go for it at all. But I'm hoping that was because he was just kind of trying to secure the playoff spot. And I'm hoping that now that we're in the playoffs, but maybe we'll see a little bit more. But we shall see. And then, as Mike alluded to, on the other end is the immediate rematch between Anthony Pettis and Stevie Ray. Ray won by submission in the second round. In the last one, as Mike said, it was kind of that twister position. I guess Pettis' rib was kind of popping, and he tapped. Second time we've seen him tap in that kind of a situation. The odds are very tight here. Pettis is even money. He's plus 100. Ray is now the favorite. He's minus 120 after having won the last fight. Personally, I feel exactly the same about this fight as I did when we picked it the first time. And that feeling is that Anthony Pettis is better and that Anthony Pettis should win. My take was really not changed by that result. I thought Pettis looked good in that last fight until the moment that things went south. It was a bit of a freak ending. Only thing I don't know is I don't know if he's 100% healthy, but I will assume and hope that he is. And despite the fact that I watched Stevie Ray just beat him, I don't really know how Stevie Ray beats him. It doesn't seem to make sense, but I think the only way for Ray to win, other than some other freak occurrence like that, is to grind him out on the mat. And I just don't think Ray is that kind of a wrestler. So barring something weird again, I think Showtime's the better striker. I think he's the better scrambler. I think he's the more dangerous sub threat. And I think he gets it done here. Maybe doesn't find the finish, but I think at least a UD for Anthony Pettis.